Good morning, Thailand. Thank you for joining us on our midweek program. It's Wednesday, and it's time now to say hello to Abel from Find Your Voice Asia.
Good morning, Thailand.
Goodness gracious. And all the way back from his road trip to Samui, Bill Barnett.
Hi, Tim. Nice to be back, and it's a great Wednesday here in Thailand.
So you crossed the Isthmus of Kra, the Malay Peninsula in Thailand, because it's, 5 hours from Phuket?
Door to door, about 5 hours, and traffic was minimal coming back. And coming into Phuket, they did check for my PCR test and waved me right through after checking it.
So it's pretty much a double lane highway all the way.
Most of the way it is, yes.
Yeah.
But it's a great drive, as I said. I think one correction maybe to yesterday is people were saying, oh, you're painting a picture that Samui is completely empty. There are no tourists and everything else. There is activity in Samui right now, and as I said, it's a good time to go to Samui because Samui needs the economic engine of tourism. So when we're saying it's business as usual, it's not business as usual. Definitely 50 to 60% of the hotels are closed, but it's a great time to visit and support the economy there.
All right, now you've got a bit of a sandbox. We're sort of having a bit of a on the sandbox at the moment until there's some more news. But today there is a bit of news that's come out about the sandbox. Bill, please update us.
There is now, we're talking about a requirement. They've been talking about the app, and as of yesterday, we're saying that the Morchana would be required as a tracking app. But now they're also talking about a location wristband, which would be added to it as well. There's not details about this as well, but it is going to be an additional requirement, apparently.
So is the wristband going to just have an ID on it so people can look at it and go, oh, you should be at this hotel? Or will it have tracking apps inside it?
It's unclear at this time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say it's a fluid situation.
It's a fluid situation. We should remind people, if you are wanting to be vaccinated, the website for that is thailandintervac.com, and we'll put it underneath here on the screen for you. Now, time to move on to other topics. Abel, you've got a hot topic you'd like to bring up.
Yes, I do. And I was actually very surprised to see this topic bring up again, which is the Red Bull Heir. His name is Warayut in Thai, but his nickname is actually, coincidentally, it's Boss. And he killed a police officer.
He allegedly killed. He hasn't been.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. He allegedly killed a police officer and dragged him over 100 meters back in 2012. And, I was actually very surprised because these types of news tend to disappear. And then they're coming back again because they're reinvestigating allegedly 10 people who is helping him to escape his prosecution.
Yeah, it's interesting because there are two army generals and a police officer now involved in another investigation from the new prosecutor. And this case now 11 years old and just keeps on going and going. Boss fled the country back in 2017. Mm-hmm. So will this be another step in the process? Will Boss ever get his justice, his opportunity to stand up in a court?
But actually, where is Boss?
Nobody knows where Boss
is.
At
the moment, yeah.
So the issue here is wealthy people getting away with potentially murder.
He actually reminded me of the case of, what's his name? The teenager, Ethan Couch, is it? Or Cooch from Texas. He actually was the one who popularized the term affluenza. And this really reminded me of him. And I just feel sorry for, the person who died. And of course, he died in a car accident, and allegedly. But I just feel, really sorry for the person who passed away and his family. And, things need to be brought to justice. And I'm just very, very happy to hear that there is a chance to, prosecute the people who are maybe helping.
Well, they can only prosecute him if they can find him. And I suppose one of the things that money does bring, apart from potentially paying off people to make sure you don't have to face justice, is being able to pay to evade justice and to stay in places that are not going to pass on your whereabouts to the local constabulary. Interestingly, about the Boss case, the Thai media 3 times have been able to track him down in different parts of the world, usually attending Red Bull events, because he's the grandson of the co-founder of Red Bull, Chileo Yovidja. So this is where a lot of the money comes from, and a lot of the accusations that he's been able to buy his way from facing justice. So I suppose before you sort of really turn your moral outrage up to 10, this sort of situation happens everywhere in the world, and so it's not just Thailand. But there's a lot of feeling that the high-sos in Thai perhaps get a better chance at getting the justice going their way than people who don't have money. What do you think, Bill?
I think it certainly is public sentiment. There is moral outrage continuing in this case, and while there's a statute of limitations, it continues to be a sticking point. I think politically, as we go into the elections next year as well, it continues to be a point for the government as well. Is there going to be this type of legal system which supports the poor?
I think if the Prime Minister was able to present Boss to a Thai court in the weeks before the election, it would certainly improve his stocks, there's no doubt. That's a good one to bring up. That news yesterday was in the tiger.com, so you can read about the latest on the Boss case. All right, guys, we're going to have a very quick break. We've got plenty to talk about today, so please stick around. We'll be back with more Good Morning Thailand after this. Checking the headlines at thetiger.com, and location tracking wristbands and punishments for escapees. Phuket getting ready to welcome vaccinated tourists. 40 COVID-related deaths and 2,331 new infections today, 26 from prisons. The Central Bankruptcy Court has approved Thai Airways' debt restructuring plan. Tourism officials eye an August reopening under the Pattaya Move On travel scheme, and an Australian man arrested for alleged child sex abuse in Thai border town. And you're back on Good Morning Thailand, middle of the week program with Abel from Find Your Voice Asia, Bill from C9hotelworks.com. And the Michelin guide for 2022 is going to be out very soon. Now, in the past, they've included Bangkok, Phuket and Phang Nga in the range of areas they've covered in the country. They've added another area of Thailand to their culinary list. Which part of the country are they adding? Bill, any ideas?
No idea.
You didn't get a chance to look it up?
Yeah, absolutely not.
How about you, Abel? Any ideas?
I would say northern Thailand.
You've been reading my notes. You're actually wrong.
Really?
This might surprise you. Just have a guess. Anywhere, Bill? Anywhere in Thailand?
Krabi.
And Abel?
Chiang Mai?
Okay, you're both wrong. But you're both at least 1,000 kilometres away. Ayuthaya has been added to the Michelin guide in 2022. Ayuthaya, for people outside Thailand, used to be the centre of the Thai kingdom for about 500 years before the Burmese invaded, and they moved the capital to the present-day Bangkok. But Ayuthaya, Bill, is there any good restaurants in Ayuthaya?
Certainly, there's been a push with the Michelin Guide for the Michelin plates, which are meals 1,000 baht and under. That's a big push. And as we know, the Tourism Authority of Thailand does support the Michelin Guide here in Thailand in publishing that. So trying to get affordable street food choices as well. So it's not just fine dining with the Michelin Guide.
I would have thought, and one thing I noticed when I was in Ayuthaya, I've been there a few times, was they do have excellent street food, especially around the old ruins. There's plenty of really good street food, but I'm not sure of any really upmarket fine dining there. Have you been to Ayuthaya?
I have been there, but I think I just, stopped there for one night. So I really cannot, give a lot of information about, the fine cuisines there, especially the things the places that you would think that would fit into a Michelin star.
I think, Tim, one thing we talk about a lot of, the most popular food blogs and everything else are about street food today. So Michelin Guide's actually changing their act as well and trying to do a broader audience and see what's happening out there at a lower level as well. And there's fantastic street food in Ayuthaya. I've been there a number of times, and it's a great food scene. So
it would be interesting to see when that guide comes out, the Michelin Guide for 2022. I don't think it actually says when it's coming out, but it must be coming out soon because they're starting to do pre-promos. All right. Now, Bill, you've got a bit of a scoop, and this one will be affecting a lot of expats, potentially foreigners that are looking to stay in Thailand. Bring us up to date.
I'm sure it's a scoop. It certainly reported in the news yesterday is the cabinet approving a proposal which would require people holding non-immigrant visas, which are people on longer-term visa, one-year visas here in Thailand, to have COVID-19 insurance, which would be coverage up to $100,000 or 3 million baht. So that requirement is going, again, the cabinet's approved it, and if it goes forward, it's going to be a big change for people living here on a long-term basis.
Yeah, so that really is the same requirement that tourists are currently required to have a premium, which is valued up to 100,000, covering you up to 100,000 US dollars. Abel, how would that affect your family? You'd all be on non-B visas, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't need a visa anymore. I'm a Thai citizen. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
But I have insurance, but it's not going to be required, just like what Bill said, for foreigners coming in or people on retirement visas. So.
I think, Tim, the biggest change would be for retirees, perhaps 70 and over, who can't obtain insurance, and how that's going to work. You're able to get insurance abroad and show proof of insurance as well, but certainly that would be a critical factor and a concern for people here who are under the retirement schemes as well. So stay tuned for this space.
Yeah, it is difficult to get insurance as an expat here once you're over 70 or 75 on some insurance. There are some insurance companies that do cover you indefinitely, especially if you've had fairly good health in the rest of your life. But for anybody who is over 70, getting insurance in Thailand is a bit of an issue, and it's one of those situations where I would have thought some enterprising Thai insurance company would find a way of having a basic insurance at a relatively good cost or low cost using Thai public hospitals.
I wanted to ask, you know that special visa that you can get from the Thailand, was it the privileges, right?
Thailand Elite.
Yeah, Thailand Elite. Does that help the foreigners, the people who are coming here for retirement visas?
It helps getting in, but you still need insurance.
So this is, maybe they could start to do something like that as well, to expand the insurance policies.
I guess substantially, though, anybody with Thailand Elite who's affording anywhere from 500,000 up to 2 million baht is going to be able to afford insurance too, though.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It is quite discouraging, though.
So we'll certainly keep you up to date with that one, but just another small barrier or another brick on that wall that's just making it a little bit harder to stay in the land of smiles. With that, we'll say we're going to have a quick break. We're going to come back with your comments. Certainly got some interesting ones today on Good Morning Thailand.
The Tiger is getting behind businesses for the restart of tourism next month. With 60,000 daily YouTube viewers and around 8 million clicks on our website each month, half of them from overseas, let us help you get in contact with the next wave of inbound travelers. Tiger is offering 50% discounts on packages right through this month. Details in the description under this video.
And you're on Good Morning Thailand. Thank you very much for tuning in. And next week we will be going live with the program, which is going to be interesting, and you'll be able to interact with us in real time.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? A lot of technology involved, especially when you've got multiple mics, multiple cameras.
You got new mics? Well, you have this for a while. It's just new to me, I guess.
Yeah, bit of a test run with these as well today. Anyway, let's get into the comments, and we'll start with this one. Can someone at Tiger get to the bottom of what's happening with items shipped to the US and Europe? Just take a look at the reviews at Thailand Post Reviews. I literally have items that say they are still at the airport for months. No one is speaking at Thai Post. Have either of you had any problems getting things sent to you in Thailand or sending things out of the country?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I have. Actually, I have a friend who was trying to send me something, obviously from overseas, and there is some kind of issues with the item coming to Thailand from Singapore. So they actually have to get a friend to ship it from the US to me, and I'm not exactly sure why that is.
Okay, but did it arrive?
No.
It didn't. Okay.
No.
Bill, how have you gone?
I've not had the best experiences with the Thai postal system. Normally, we would advise use Carry Express, use FedEx, use DHL. That's a better way you can track the packages as well. So experience with Thai postal system, a lot of things don't arrive.
Really? Okay. I have to say I've had generally a good experience. certainly with things like Lazada these days, people ordering so much stuff online. If you're talking about businesses that have done well over the past year during the COVID pandemic, certainly delivery companies, whether it be small like Grab or Food Panda, or the big ones like DHL, Kerry Express, etc., have done very, very well with shipping things hither and thither. But I haven't had a lot of problems with Thai Post. I think Thai Post are now using a lot of these private companies to help them with their delivery. But to Chris S. from the USA, it seems that it's a bit lumpy, but we don't seem to have a systemic problem. You think there is a bit of a systemic problem, Bill. You're holding back there, I think.
No comment.
Well, I do want to add something though.
Okay.
Having been living here in Thailand over time for more than 15 years, they have improved their service. I mean, it was only this particular case that I did not get my item or did not get it yet.
Okay.
But I have never really had problem. And I know that Thailand Post have improved their delivery and their service because of the competitors like DHL and Kerry. So they have improved over time, but there are obviously, more things that they could, improve on.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, you've got some comments?
Sure, we've got 3 comments today from Sun Properties. How much does a PCR cost in Samui? I think it's, in my experience, I just came from Samui, and when I checked the hospital there, it was 3,000 baht, which is if you're a family of 4 or you're a family of 2 traveling, it's a big ticket coming back and forth. So that's one of the biggest issues right now for tourism is the cost of a PCR test. And I think what we're looking forward when the sandbox, and we're not going to use that term a lot today, comes into place, is it going to be flash testing or is it going to be PCR test, and how much is it going to cost?
Well, the government have certainly said that the responsibility for payment for those tests will rest with the traveller. And as the costs come through, and I imagine they probably will when the proposal is finally put or rubber stamped by the Royal Gazette. But until then, we don't know. But it will be a cost that you'll need to incur. Yesterday in the Thailand News Today program, I asked the question why, and that was about the Chulalongkorn University now going into the first lot of human trials with a Thai-made, Thai-invented vaccine, which is one of these mRNA vaccines, similar to Pfizer, Moderna. And I was saying, well, here we are, 6 months after all these other vaccines have come out. Why are they bothering? James came back with an answer, and I thought this was worth passing on. For the next pandemic, local competency in vaccine manufacture has fallen out of the current pandemic as a must-have ability for being able to quickly protect the population. As long as the nation-state model is the prevailing geopolitical default, then Thailand looking after its own citizens will be a necessity going forward. I thought that's a great answer.
Yeah.
What do you think about Thailand having its own homegrown vaccine?
I think most scientists would say that there will be future pandemics. Science has taught us that. And having local capability and local capacity to generate this makes absolute sense. Biggest issue right now about vaccinations is there's not enough vaccine. So having locally made vaccine, sure, why not?
And it appears COVID moves from being a pandemic to endemic. It may be just one of those things we're going to need a booster every year for whichever vaccine we've been having. All right, another one, Bill.
A note in from Dean Crichton. I think this goes back to your Pattaya session the other day. The majority of Thailand travelers come here for sex, or so I've been told.
Did you add that at the end, or that's what he said?
That's what he said.
Abel, do most travellers come here for sex?
38.5 million people in 2019.
Well, not the kind of travelers that I know. You know what? I really cannot give you a definitive answer. I do not have the statistics, and I really hope not. But I don't know. Maybe this is a question that I'm going to throw back to you guys.
Well, when you came to Thailand, because you're originally from Hong Kong?
I came here from the U.S.
From the U.S.
Yes.
Hong Kong parents?
No,
I've got this all wrong, have I?
I'm originally Hong Kong. I'm 100% Chinese.
Right.
But I grew up in the U.S.
Okay.
And obviously I'm a U.S. citizen, so I lived there, I worked there. I met my husband there, and I moved here.
With your husband?
With my husband, and we started everything with nothing.
Okay. And you still got all of that?
Well, we're working, we're just hardworking people. Yeah.
Bill, did you come here for sex?
I actually came here to work.
Oh,
actually.
dear.
Yeah, actually, I came
Wow.
here as part of a tourism profile. So I think going backwards, I think it's just there's such a stigmatism to sex tourism and everything else. The sheer number of what we're talking about, it simply doesn't exist in people's minds. There is a sex industry here in Thailand, as there is on almost every country on earth. Every country on earth has this type of tourist as well. And whether it's tourist or whether it's a domestic clientele base, again, but get over that this is just a sex destination.
How do you feel about the Thai government always saying there is no such thing as prostitution in Thailand? And occasionally when things were normal back in 2018-19, in a place like Pattaya, the local police would do their parade down Walking Street and proudly get to the end and face the Thai press saying, no, there's no prostitution here. How believable do they make themselves out to be when they come up with that sort of crap?
I'm not sure it's meant to be believed. It's not I think we all understand what's out there. I think anybody in any other country understands what it is.
But do they understand?
I think definitely they do, Tim.
Well, of course they do.
Yes.
So why this parade? Why this charade of nonsense?
Well, it's the saving face thing, right? You know, in a lot of Asian countries, it's a lot about your face and how you appear. And I think that is mainly the thing, you know, saving face. Even though they know deep down that there is, like Bill said, in every country there is. I mean, it's like the oldest profession, right? So I'm sorry, I'm just actually sitting here just rolling my eyes.
Okay. So while you roll your eyes, I was also going to say that the 30,000 prostitutes that was measured by a UN report back in 2017 in the Pattaya area, for example, how much better it would be for everybody if they were able to register as professional workers, be able to get proper insurance, be able to get social security. How much better would it be for everybody? So they could go down to their local clinic, they could get checked for their health. But no. Prostitution doesn't exist in Thailand. It's bad for everybody, including the government, that just make themselves look silly.
It's a good point, Tim.
It's a very good point.
Thanks for your
You got to
wholesome...
win there. Yeah, got to win there.
Thanks for your wholesome backup. All right, do you have any more there, Bill?
Oh, we got a note in from Boon Boon. Proof of the backs, mark of the beast. The Bible was correct once again. So.
God, it's mark of the beast. So this is
the Bible once again. We got the Bible again.
Is this the same person?
This is not. This is somebody else.
Okay, so the vaccine, again, coming out as the mark of the beast. All I can say is utter nonsense. You got anything to add to that, Abel?
No, I don't. No.
Did you study the Bible when you were young? Were you
No.
brought up as a...
No, I do not have any. I respect all religions, but I am not religious, but I do believe in the philosophy of Buddhism.
Okay, all right. With that, we say thank you very much. You got anything else there?
That's it.
That's the end.
And, Tim, 15 days for the sandbox.
Oh, I just knew you were going
Throw
to
it in.
sneak that in. Thank you very much for watching today. And don't forget to upload the app, the free Tiger app.
And I got it.
Abel's done it, and it's changed her life. Look at her now.
Look how happy I am.
She's transformed, and that's only because of the app. You can send us messages, comments. We go through them each day, and we will drag some of them out. If you've got a specific question, actually write question at the start. Just makes it a bit easier for us to find it. So on behalf of our panel, thank you for watching. Abel, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Abel from Find Your Voice Asia, and Bill from
Thanks,
C9
Darren.
Hotel Works. Thank you for
A strong
coming.
wind here in the office.
Yes, and
Good
thank
weather.
you for putting up with us over the past couple of weeks with our sound issues. We will keep on working until we get it right. And big thanks to Jason and Jay over there for pressing the buttons. We'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.